নিটল ডাটা মুখোমুখিতে আপনাদেরকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। আপনার শিশুটি কি নিরাপদ? আপনারা যারা গ্রামে থাকেন, পুকুর পাড়ে যাদের বাড়ি আছে, সেখানে কি আপনার শিশুটি নিরাপদ? আপনারা কি জানেন যে প্রতিদিন বাংলাদেশে বিভিন্ন গ্রামাঞ্চলে যে শিশু রয়েছে, যে পরিবারগুলো রয়েছে, তাদের অন্তত গড়ে 40টি শিশু মারা যায় শুধুমাত্র পুকুরে ডুবে অসাবধানতার কারণে, যাদের বয়স 1 থেকে 5 বছর। চমকপ্রদ তথ্য হলেও এটি একটি সত্য কথা। আর এ বিষয়ে সিনাগোস কাজ করছে। তারা কাজ করছে কিভাবে গ্রামের মানুষ থেকে শুরু করে প্রত্যন্ত অঞ্চলে মানুষের মধ্যে সচেতনতা তৈরি করা যায়, যেন এই ধরনের দুর্ঘটনা না ঘটে। আর এই বিষয়ে কথা বলার জন্য আজকে আমাদের স্টুডিওতে আমাদের সাথে উপস্থিত আছে চং লিম লি, পরিচালক, প্রোগ্রাম সিনাগোস। পুরো বিষয়টি যদি আপনাদের বুঝতে একটি সমস্যা হয়, আমরা এই বিষয়ে আপনাদের জন্য একটি প্রামাণ্যচিত্র রেখেছি, সেটি একটু দেখে আসি, তারপর আমরা আলোচনা করব।
We at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health are not just interested in developing a solution, but we also want to be partners in implementing that solution so that real lives can be saved around the world.
এই জন্য করলাম যে শিশুরা অনেক দুর্ঘটনা এবং নিরাপদে বাসায় থাকলে বাচ্চারা দুর্ঘটনা ঘটতে পারে। তারা বলতেছে যে আমরা শিশুদের দিলে আমরা অনেক নিরাপদে থাকি।
The advantage is, not only is the child away from the water, but there's an opportunity for learning, for socializing, for improving the child's cognitive development as well.
মা এসে বললো, মানে মিতুর মা বলছে নিরাপদে কাজ করতে পারতেছে। এই আঁচলটা হয়ে আমাদের জন্য অনেক উপকার হয়েছে।
While these are statistics and numbers to us, each one of these numbers is a story. This is incredibly important, that these public health solutions are not just solving one disease, but rather we are improving the health and social welfare of populations that exist in those communities.
দুটো সন্তান আমার কাছে খুব প্রিয় ছিল, খুব আদরের সন্তান ছিল আমার কাছে। বাচ্চা যা যা লাগবে আপনারা দেবেন, যাতে বাচ্চা সবকিছু থেকে নিরাপদ থাকে, এটাই আপনাদের কাছে আমার আশা।
We saw the videos. It's really upsetting and interesting as well. How synagogues realize that this is happening?
Well, this has been an initiative of the Bloomberg Philanthropies under their public health initiative to address injuries such as drowning. And as you saw, drowning takes, every day takes 40 children away from their families because of drowning deaths. And so much of this is preventable. And so that's how Synergos got involved in it. We had an assignment with Bloomberg. They wanted us to take a look at helping them take this research that they've found that proved that daycare centers can reduce drowning deaths by 70%. And that's a huge amount. And so we are working with Bloomberg at their request to find sustainable solutions to increase the use of daycare centers, center-based care for children, to help prevent these avoidable deaths.
But do you think that it's feasible in the villages of Bangladesh, creating a daycare center for these rural poor people.
Yeah. Well, so
who will pay for them? I mean,
Yeah.
if it's a daycare, who will pay for them? They might need training, experience, capacity.
Yeah.
How this will work out?
Yeah, certainly it's a big task, and there are models out there. So there are various government, NGO, private sector efforts to provide daycare centers for children. And so we know that there are different ways of doing this, and certainly Bangladesh is not a monolithic environment, and so we'll have to figure out what are the models that work best in certain regions, focusing on the high-risk areas, such as Borishal, right?
Why Borishal is high-risk area? Just because it's a place where ponds are available, or drowning is as possible?
Right, because of the geography, it's an area where the average rate of death among children under 5 is 3 times greater than other parts of the country, compared to the average rate across the country.
That's quite alarming.
It is alarming. It is alarming, and it's something that we can act on. And there are people who have efforts that are related, whether it's through injury prevention or early child development provision, child protection. And the way that Scenarios got involved is that we realized that these are all really good efforts, and yet there's so much more that can be done by bringing those efforts together and having a concerted initiative. And so even though we're working with Bloomberg from their public health side, we actually started in Bangladesh by working with the ECD partners, and specifically with BEN, which is the Bangladesh ECD network, to try to find what are the sustainable ways to use daycare centers or ECD centers, basically any kind of center-based solution to supervising children, especially during the hours of 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. when adults have chores,
Right.
have jobs, and are unable to supervise children.
On this point of discussion, we have to take
Right.
a first break and we'll come back. দর্শক, আমরা কথা বলছিলাম যে অসাবধানতাবশত শিশুদের মৃত্যু হয়ে থাকে, ডুবে যে মৃত্যু হয়ে থাকে বাড়ির পাশে পুকুরে, এই বিষয়টি নিয়ে আলোচনা চলতে থাকবে। সাথে থাকুন, ফিরছি একটু পর। আমন্ত্রণ আরো একবার নিটল ডাটা মুখোমুখিতে কথা বলছিলাম ড্রাউনিং প্রিভেনশন নিয়ে। আমাদের সাথে আছে সিনারগোজ এর প্রোগ্রাম পরিচালক চং লিম লি। ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো ওয়ান্স अगेन. So who is Synergos? How they're working? What are the projects you have in Bangladesh?
Sure. Synergos is a global NGO. We're founded by a member of the Rockefeller family, on the belief that really addressing the difficult challenges of our time requires different sectors, different actors to work together. And so we have work around the world that focuses on building the trust and collaboration that's needed in order for people to do this. Synergos comes from the Greek root of working together, and so that's really it's the reflection of our founder, who realized that from her experiences and her life, that she was able to leverage different parts of society in order to address the areas that she felt really committed towards, which is about addressing issues of poverty and social justice. And so in Bangladesh, actually, this drowning prevention project is our first real significant project. But we have projects around the world where we're working on topics like agriculture in Ethiopia, in Nigeria as well, maternal and child health and nutrition in Namibia, social connectedness and care of children in Southern Africa, equitable economic growth in Mexico and in Brazil. We work on education.
So it's more like your work is like to improve the lives of the people in the root levels, right?
Yes, yeah, and to look for root causes and take a systems perspective in addressing these challenges. So the Drowning Prevention Partnership is kind of it's a good embodiment of the way that we work, because as I mentioned before, this is it's a public health issue, right? Because drowning is a public health issue, and yet the solution is in early child development. And so our strength is in being able to bring together the different stakeholders, help them to see the commonalities of what they want to achieve, and build a trust and collaboration in order to achieve our aims together. So that involves not just spanning from health and MOCA and education, but also in bringing together the different kinds of stakeholders, the different NGOs and other programs that are already doing a lot of really, really great work. We just had a convening about 2 days ago where we brought over 35 organizations who are all working on related issues from the health, nutrition, early child development sectors. And there was great expression of commitment and desire to actually do work together for the wellness of children. And the question is, how do we do that? And that's where Synergos is able to play a role.
And you're doing this just to save the lives of, right?
Right. So, I mean, to me, that's, and as you've said before, it's a shocking figure, and
Right.
it's something that we feel it should be addressed and can be addressed. And there are already so many people who are committed to doing this work. And our partners in CIPRB and ICDRB have done so much work over the last several years to prove the efficacy of center-based childcare. And we want to be able to take that to the next level and make sure that it grows from beyond the areas that they've been able to execute this programming to cover more of Bangladesh's children.
Right. So Synergos working in the root level or working in the policy level or like connecting people and addressing crisis?
Right. So we take a systems perspective, and so that means that you're not only looking at one topic, but you're looking at the breadth of stakeholders and issues that are related, because it needs a systems response, not just the building of daycare centers, but actually how do you bring that into policy so that you can take it to a national scale? How do you bring in the support of others throughout government and NGOs? And then we work with everyone who's related in that way. So that may, our first thrust is by working with policymakers and getting the attention of government to really take this up and build it into the policies of the government. And then, obviously, it's not up to government to do all the implementation.
Right.
And neither is it the role of Synergos to do the implementation. But there are so many stakeholders who are already doing, and actors who are already doing that great work. And so then also working with them to bring it all together in a way that it's working cohesively and in lockstep, as opposed to many disparate efforts that are doing a lot of great good in their own respective ways, but aren't able to achieve the scale that's necessary.
How do you had a meeting with the government? Did you share your research outcome with them?
Yeah, so we've had great support from MOCA, and we see them as a real ally in moving forward, and that of course is to be built and nurtured and developed, and it's not something that they can snap their fingers and make possible. So part of our work is bringing together the different stakeholders, and including MOCA, so that we can find a path forward together and not just throw it to one person to try to solve the issue.
Right, on this part of discussion we have to take another break. We'll come back and talk more. দর্শক যাচ্ছে একটা বিরতিতে, সাথে থাকুন, ফিরছি একটু পর। আমন্ত্রণ আরো একবার নিটল টাটা মুখোমুখিতে কথা বলছি ড্রাউনিং প্রিভেনশন নিয়ে। আমাদের সাথে আছে পরিচালক সিনারগাঁও প্রোগ্রাম চং লিম লি। Welcome to the show once again.
Thank you.
So, as before the break, you were saying that you are working with the government. How deeply you are working with the government, and do you also have any local partners or other NGOs?
Yeah. We've had a great local partner in BEN, the Bangladesh ECD network, and we've also been working with many of the organizations alongside of BEN, such as FULKI and UNICEF and DAM. So through BEN, we've been able to build a great number of relationships. With the government, we've been working so far pretty closely with MOCA. And MOCA has established 15 coordination desks as focal points across all the ministries. 15.
Wow.
And recognizing that, to address the needs of children, you need to have interaction across all the different ministries.
Right.
And that really reflects very strongly the way that we like to work, which is recognizing that, instead of just creating something new and something that's standalone, you should tap into what already exists and really work to facilitate and coordinate the efforts that are already there for the aims that you share, which in this case is the well-being of children.
Right. Coming back to the discussion of the first part, I still have the one question, because you said from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. when the mothers are busy with other stuff of the families, accidents or incidents occur at that particular time. How they used to do the household works, how these things can be managed,
Right.
because they have to take care of their children, and the household things can't be done alone, right?
Right. So, you know, it's hard to undertake the work that you have to do, whether it's going to work outside of the home or attending to work inside the home, and then also supervise your children as well. And so these hours between 9 and 1 p.m. we find are the critical hours. Those are the hours where drowning occurs the most. And so so as an example of how we work with our partners, most ECD currently in the country does not meet that time gap. And so, and as we spoke with our ECD partners, they said, you know, it's not, to accommodate this, this risk or to help address this risk of drowning of children under 5, it's not a huge deal to change or to shift the timing and have it fit that 9 to 1 period. Of course, there are going to have to be changes that are made, but it's working with the ECD partners to realize that they can really make a big impact by addressing that critical piece about the hours and also about the age range, looking at 0 to 5.
Okay.
So that's an example of how we're trying to bring together the different needs between injury prevention, ECD, health and nutrition, in order to advance common goals.
Right. How about those mothers who go for work from home now, because it's a developing country,
Right.
People looking for earning monies in different ways, and some mothers go out of the work.
Yeah.
Do you have those things in mind too, right?
Yeah, because you know, and that's a perfect example of how ECD and center-based childcare. It's not just about the preventing drowning deaths for us, because there's so many other benefits that can flow from that. And knowing that you have a safe place where your children can be and where they can also advance their cognitive abilities, access health and nutrition services, while the mothers are also able to then go out and pursue employment as well. I mean, there are myriad benefits that we see, and that's also part of why we take a systems approach. Because if we were to only look at drowning and to only focus on that one piece, it doesn't have as much resonance, and people don't see the as important as it is to save the lives of children. You start to see that there are so many benefits to society as a whole by advancing daycare center for children from 0 to 5 in this time period in particular.
And how you're creating awareness? What's your policy creating awareness?
Yeah, so you know, some of it's stuff like this. So being able to share share the work that we're doing, especially around thought leaders, policymakers. Right. We've been doing outreach with different stakeholders and partners who are already active in the field, and we'll continue to do that. We're exploring some options with Sesame Workshop, for example, for greater mass media understanding of the issues of drowning and how this is something that's preventable through, you know, with daycare centers being probably a very highly effective one, but also other efforts as well.
Right. In the daycare center, you're going to have some educational stuff for kids, from like they can play, they can color,
right,
or they can do anything they want.
Yeah, and you know, the Bangladesh ECD network has already actually established quite a lot. I mean, we're building on the experience and efforts of people who have been doing this work for a very long period of time. And they have established ECD standards, which we are helping to make that widespread. So the experts around ECD already have a sense of what's important, and what we're trying to do is then also layer onto that the components that would also address the drowning aspect as well.
Yeah, in the video documentary, you also have seen some expression from a father as well. So it's all about, not about the mother, it's
That's
both
true.
about the fathers and parents, in fact. So, are you working with the fathers in this particular case?
Right, and that will need to be part of the outreach. And so when we do outreach, some of it is with partner NGOs and government and businesses. Some of it is also broader communication, mass media communication, and so that'll be part of our efforts as well. Because as you say, the parents,
Yes.
mothers and fathers, and extended family members as well, it's so critical for awareness raising, because it really takes, it's not just the mother's responsibility, nor is it only the mother's heartache to lose a child. It's really a family and community affair.
Thank you. Thank you so much for at least inspiring me. I'm inspired. I didn't know this. And I believe through your discussion, the audience know this. But the discussion will go on because I got a lot of other questions and I'll ask you. But not in this episode. We have to end this episode maybe tomorrow and we'll come back. দর্শক, কথা বলছিলাম খুবই শকিং একটি বিষয় নিয়ে, শিশু মৃত্যু, এবং সেটা বাড়ির পাশে পুকুরে হতে পারে এবং সেটা প্রতিদিন 40টি শিশু মারা যায়। এটা কি কখনো আমরা ভেবেছি? কখনো কি আমরা জেনেছি? হয়তোবা ঘটনাগুলোকে দুর্ঘটনায় মনে করি। তো এই বিষয়ে আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম। আমাদের সাথে ছিলেন চং লিমলি, পরিচালক প্রোগ্রাম সিনাগোজ। তার সাথে আলোচনা আমরা আরো করব, কারণ আলোচনা এখানে শেষ করা যাচ্ছে না। তবে আলোচনাটি আজকের পর্ব নয়, কালকে দেখা হবে আপনাদের সাথে। ভালো থাকবেন আপনারা।